So, welcome. I am so excited that I get to finally share my passion for these products that I've known about for a little while, not very long. Actually, I want to let you know that I started researching a lot into metabolic health and started reading books all about metabolic health long before doTERRA announced that this was coming. Now, they've been developing this for a long time, and it was something that I needed. So I have been anxiously waiting for this moment where I can share these products with you and all that I've learned about metabolic health. Y'all, I've read so many books, my brain just has been about to explode. We're going to be doing a lot more during this 30-day challenge, things like food tips or other tips that I'm learning as I go along. So thank you for focusing on your metabolic health for the next 30 days. Hi, I'm Lori Funderburk, and I'm so glad to be sharing this with you. Now, the main focus of this 30-day challenge is supporting and healing your metabolic health. So I want to ask you a question. What would it feel like to live your most powerful life, to have the most energy you've felt in a long time, to be able to accomplish maybe a goal that you've been wanting to accomplish? What would that feel like to live your most powerful life? And if you have something to write on, I want you to start jotting down some feelings that are coming up. And if you don't want to do that right now, I want you to revisit this question later and write it down in a journal form. I think this is going to be really important, especially as we launch this challenge, for you to focus on stepping into that most powerful life. What does that look like? What does it feel like? And then the second question, what's preventing you from living your most powerful life? I mean, is it a lack of energy? Are you just too tired? Are you not getting enough sleep at night and you just feel tired all day long? Is it your weight getting in the way? Is that frustrating to you? What about cognitive clarity? I mean, is your brain fog bothering you? Do you feel like you don't have that attention span you want? What about your mood? Are you suffering debilitating anxiety or sadness that you just can't seem to shake? Are you having a hard time keeping your mood stabilized? Or are you just stressed out? You don't even have time to think about what life would be like at your most powerful state. Are things just coming at you constantly and life is happening and you're feeling so stressed out that you can't even focus on anything positive? It might be interesting for you to know that all of those things, sleep, cognitive function, your weight management, all the things we talked about in that previous slide, are directly linked to metabolic health. I used to think when I heard metabolic health that it was just about metabolism, but y'all, it is so much more than that. So what is metabolic health? What does it matter to you, and what can you do to improve it? Metabolic health means that your body can digest and absorb nutrients from the food that you eat without unhealthy spikes in blood sugar, blood fat, inflammation, and insulin. It means that your cholesterol, your blood sugar, your triglycerides, waist circumference, and blood pressure are all within a healthy range. It's a fact, according to the National Health and Nutrition Examination, that only 6.8 of United States adults have optimal metabolic health. Y'all, that statistic is shocking. Only 6.8. That means the large majority of us are not at an optimal level now. It shouldn't surprise me because I know what our diet is here in the US. I know that what we're consuming. I know the stress that we're going through. It shouldn't be shocking, but really it was. That means that most of the people that I love are struggling with this, but that also makes it super exciting for me to be able to share some solutions. So what are the main things that are getting in the way of having that optimal metabolic health? These are some of the top things getting in the way. A lack of stress management. There's no doubt that we are stressed out of our minds. We are a fast-moving, fast-paced society that like to go, 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 and we don't take care of ourselves. Y'all know it's true, and we let that stress get carried away. And when your body's producing more cortisol than your liver can handle, It wreaks absolute havoc on your system. So that's a big one. Another one is lack of movement. Maybe we don't have enough time for exercise. I think it's important also to mention that lack of movement isn't necessarily whether we go to the spa or not, or whether we're exercising, whether we're taking steps or we're sitting for prolonged periods of time. I've learned in my research that it's important every single hour to make sure that you get up and move for metabolic health. Your metabolism loves it when you're in motion. So if you have a sit-down job, it's super important that you get up, take a bathroom break, or get up and take a little walk around the office and then sit back down. Just do something to move and get those steps in. We'll talk a little bit more about that here at the end. Another one is lack of quality of sleep. I know so many people who struggle with sleep right now, and that is 100% tied to metabolic health. Can you imagine what it would feel like to feel completely rested? Whoa. Yes, I want that. Now, lack of nutrition is another thing getting in our way. Most of us are not eating the amount of fruits and vegetables that we need in our diet. We're not even consuming the proper amounts of foods that supply our body with proper nutrition. And then we have another issue with this, and I'll talk more about our body, is actually not even be able to absorb nutrients like it should anymore. We're going to discuss that when we start talking about vitamins. Exposure to toxins, y'all. This is a biggie. We are exposed to more toxins in one day than our grandparents were their entire lifetime. Your great-grandparents, for some of you, if you're young on here, that is alarming. And it's so true, though. You think about even just the pollution in the air. But we're also exposed to candles, air fresheners, shampoo, lotions, facial products, soap, that are actually full of chemicals that we shouldn't even be breathing in. Our household products, another one, of course, but most of us on here are with doTERRA, and we've started to use cleaner products. But the majority of people still have these chemicals in their homes, and they still are exposed to them on a daily basis. That leads us to the next two biggies: an overburdened liver and low gut flora. Our liver cannot keep up with all of that. We're exposing it to it in a day, and it just can't keep up with it. Your liver purifies your blood every single minute of every single day. It has to break down all these synthetic chemicals we're exposing it to, whether it's through medications or through food additives, preservatives, the pesticides in our foods, the chemicals in our household cleaners, the hairspray, the deodorants that we're using if they're not clean. All these things the liver has to process, convert, break down, and our livers are shot. It was alarming for me to learn that the liver is actually the wizard behind the curtain, running the show for metabolic health. Also, low gut flora, and we're going to talk about that. An overburdened liver leads to a sluggish metabolism, excess fat storage, insulin resistance, and non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Y'all, I read another alarming statistic about non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Did you know that most of the transplants taking place in the U.S. right now are for non-alcoholic fatty liver disease? It's a lifestyle disease. Our livers are just overburdened, and they cannot handle what they are being bombarded with. The key to good health is a good metabolism, and the key to a good metabolism is a healthy liver. Again, this is the wizard behind the curtain running the show. It's also important to know that gut microbes play a huge part in metabolic functions. They help in the digestion of food and in the regulation of host metabolic functions by regulating glucose metabolism, appetite, and food storage. And then fiber is necessary for your gut microbes to live and survive. So if all this craziness and negativity is scaring you about metabolic health and your liver and your gut, I just want you to take a deep breath right now and realize that there is a solution, and you can change and improve it all. So how do you do it? Well, it starts at a cellular level. It starts with an understanding of wellness. The definition of wellness is a balance of body, mind, and spirit. And if one of those three things is out of balance, you are going to feel it. I love these pillars of wellness that doTERRA created over a decade ago. At the base, of course, is nutrition and digestion, excuse me, movement and metabolism, resting and managing stress, reducing your toxic load, informed self-care, and proactive medical care. I feel like they've done a brilliant job of giving us pillars that we can work on and improve so that we can bring about that balance of body, mind, and spirit. Well, during the next 30 days or so, we are going to focus on this. We're going to talk about resting and managing stress because, of course, we talk about sleep being such an important piece to metabolic health and reducing toxicity as being such a help to the liver, right? So we're going to talk about all these other pillars, but the majority of our focus is going to be right here on nutrition and digestion. On nutrition, supplying your body with the proper nutrients, of course, and digestion. We're talking about gut health, about how to improve your gut flora and create a greater diversity in the gut, the greater diversity of microbes in the gut, I should say. Then we're going to focus on movement and metabolism as well. And there's some key things I want you to have on hand. And this is where doTERRA comes into play. I want you to understand very clearly, excuse me, that none of this replaces your diet. What you eat is going to be the most important thing you can do over the days ahead. And I'll be sharing healthy recipes that I think will be beneficial. We're going to crack down on healing and supporting the metabolism. The first couple of weeks will be really strict because we want to focus on liver support and gut health. And the products that I want you to have on hand are really in two parts. Of course, we're going to want to have that MetaPWR collection, but I also want to make sure that you understand that nutrition is so important. And you may not be eating all that you need to get the proper nutrients and vitamins you need. So we're going for optimal health, right? So it's really important to support your system with nutrition. So foundation number one is the Lifelong Vitality Pack, and it's important to know that step. Number two, the Metapower system won't work as well if you skip step number one. You have to have the nutrient support there. You have to have the liver support. Your liver needs to be functioning in order to take all the goodness for Metapower and have it help you out. So it's really important to start with the foundation of wellness. doTERRA's LLV Lifelong Vitality Pack has been their number one selling wellness product for years because people can feel the difference. So you want to make sure that you don't skip step two. Now, this is some very scary statistics here. We have massive nutrient deficiencies. And some of you may have been to the doctor for one reason or another, and they have informed you, oh, by the way, you have really low levels of vitamin D. Look at this. This is in adults 19 and older. 95% have a deficiency in vitamin D. Look at E, magnesium, vitamin A, calcium, vitamin C, all deficient. So we desperately need support, and I love that the Lifelong Vitality makes it easy for me to know that I'm getting those essential vitamins and essential minerals, and also with the Microplex VMC, that's where our essential vitamins and minerals are coming from. Through the Alpha CRS, we're getting a really high antioxidant supplement that helps the body get rid of free radicals. So free radicals happen when we become too toxic. And free radicals can actually damage your cells. So it's really important to increase antioxidants. The most important thing we can do is eat our vegetables and our fruits, but we can also take little helpers like Alpha CRS to help supply those antioxidants for us. And then, of course, we have the Exi Omega, which is your essential fatty acid. This is your fish oil, and it provides DHA and EPA fish oil. This is going to be really good for joint support, for brain support, and just supplying your body with the fatty acids that it needs. So this was shocking to me. If you want to take a look at what it would take to eat the equivalent of what's found in the Lifelong Vitality Pack, this gives you a good idea. You can look at the difference here. So you're spending $80.50 for the full lifelong vitality pack. Excuse me. It would cost you over $1,300 to purchase the equivalent of foods in a cart to come up with that same nutritional value. So if you're looking at that cart and thinking, good grief, I'd never eat all that in a day. Right. That's what Alpha CRS is giving you. And again, I want to make it clear, it doesn't give you permission to not eat your fruits and vegetables. You still should have a diet full of fresh fruits and vegetables. This is just a way to help your system as we're healing and supporting that metabolism and metabolic health. So let's move to the exciting new Metapower products. First, I want to talk about this pillar of wellness, this movement and metabolism, because I learned something during all of my researching, and it was very shocking to me, but it helps explain why there's been moments in my life where, I just haven't been able to lose weight. And here's why. If you try to go to a spin class, or you train for a marathon, or you do heavy weightlifting, or any high cardio, you go to Zumba class, any of that, when you have an overburdened liver, it can actually go against you. And there's a possibility that you would actually gain weight from that. I know some of you are like, oh yeah, this has happened to me. And it's because your metabolism will not function properly until you've healed your liver and you've restored yourself. So every book that I've read, every podcast that I've listened to on the topic of metabolic health has suggested that you walk, not run, and that you stretch, and that you do light weights, and that you take it easy until you fixed that metabolic function within you. So for these first 30 days, that's what we're focusing on. We're going to focus on getting our steps in, light weights, you can call them micro workouts, because what happens is your body is under stress when you're running. It's under stress when you're at spin cycle or at Zumba class. All these things that are high cardio put your body under stress, and your body releases excess cortisol. Well, we already have excess cortisol because most of us are living a fast-paced life. So when you put that on top of it, it's a cascade of problems. So we're going to be focused on movement. Yes, but it's not going to be strenuous. And then, of course, we're going to be focusing on supporting metabolic health. And this is one of the greatest things that has been released in the history of doTERRA. This product is for everyone. And what I've experienced since having it in my hand has blown my mind. I've had this now for about 2 weeks. And in that time, I've been able to lose 5 pounds, which I've done before. But let me tell you the difference. Normally, when I lose 5 pounds, I don't notice that I've lost 5 pounds. It's 5 pounds of water weight. But this 5 pounds, people notice because it came off my gut. And that made me extremely happy because that is one of my big problems. So it's important to know that Metapower is a 3-part system and they all work together. Some doTERRA leaders received a box of the Metapower Advantage, that's the collagen, a month before convention, and they were able to experience the rise in energy and the clarity of mind, but not necessarily the weight loss. All 3 products work together. So the first part of the system is the Metapower Metabolic Blend. It might look familiar to many of you because the ingredients look a lot like Slim and Sassy. It's the same oil combination as Slim and Sassy. However, they took Slim and Sassy and they studied it, and they found that if they did it in different ratios, that made a huge difference. They showed a slide to us at convention that showed the results from that study, and it was mind-blowing. So I was excited about this, and I do think it tastes so much better. This Metapower blend has been scientifically shown to inhibit fat cell maturation. Now, if that doesn't excite you, it also curbs cravings, and I can vouch for this because you guys, I'm a massive sugar addict, and I am an emotional eater, and I get stressed out. That's what I start craving, sugar. But since being on this for 2 weeks, I have not had to have those sugary snacks. And that is a mini miracle for me. So it does curb the cravings and it supports metabolic health. This is a product you're going to want to take. I take 2 soft gels with every meal, and I also take 3 Terrazymes with every meal. Now, I'm telling you this because I'm a super user, and we talked about that at convention. A person who's just maintaining and just already has a good diet and already is at a good weight, they would just take one of those. But I'm taking 2 with each meal and also three Terrazine. Now, you might say, why do you take Terrazine? Well, because it helps to break down fats and proteins, and it helps your body absorb those nutrients. So it's very important for your body to absorb nutrients, and it's good for gut health. If you're having cravings, you should just put a drop of the oil blend under your tongue, or you could use little beadlets or chew the gum. For me, I'm using the oil blend in a lotion base, and it's going on my abdomen topically. Now, the second product in this 3-part system is the Metapower Metabolic Assist. This helps decrease post-meal glucose spikes. Now, I want to make sure you understand that when we talk about glucose spikes with Metapower, we're not talking about spikes that are in the normal. I'm sorry, we are talking about spikes that are in the normal range. We're not talking about spikes that happen with the person with type 1 or type 2 diabetes. So this is when we get a meal, we eat a meal, especially if it's high in carbs, your blood sugar spikes, and what happens is it's really hard on the rest of your metabolic system and your liver especially. When this happens, all throughout the day, your body's overproducing insulin. Your hormones are off balance. It's causing insulin resistance. So this product is going to be a huge help to so many people. It supports healthy insulin sensitivity. It supports healthy blood sugar response, and it stabilizes your energy all throughout the day, because what happens when we have these spikes is we have a spike and it feels a little bit energetic. We feel, a little bit energetic, and then we have a crash, right? So if we can keep that steady, not only are we going to feel more energetic throughout the day, but here's the great news. It actually has been shown to help keep your body in more of a fat burning phase. So super powerful product. This you're going to take with your highest carb meal. And at convention, again, they talked about if you're a super user, somebody who's a little older, you may have excess weight to lose, you can use it for other meals. So I've been doing it for lunch and dinner. The third product is our Metapower Advantage. This will blow your socks off. Since taking this, I feel so much more energetic. I'm not having that 4 p.m. crash that I usually get. I feel I can just keep going like an Energizer bunny. I've noticed a huge difference in my skin. The Advantage is a collagen with NMN, and we're going to talk about why that NMN is so important here in a minute, but this helps promote healthy biological aging and improves health span. So I want to take a minute and just make sure you understand the difference between health span and lifespan. So lifespan is how long you live, right? I'm going to use my great aunt as my example. My great aunt lived to be 92 years old, which is wonderful. However, her health span, that's how many years she was healthy in her life. So I hope this is making sense. So she had developed type 2 diabetes. She had neuropathy in her legs. This was all before the age of 80. In fact, her daughter had to move in and become a caregiver to her in her early 80s. So when we look at her health span, it wasn't as long as her lifespan. I feel like as a society, we've learned how to keep people alive, but not necessarily healthy, right? So she also developed Alzheimer's and eventually didn't remember any of us. And that's what we're trying to avoid here with this product. We're trying to give you this product that activates the longevity genes. It improves cognitive function. It supports lean muscle and connective tissue, and it improves the skin elasticity and muscles. So I want to talk to you about the ingredients, because Metapower Advantage is working from the inside out. On the inside, you're giving yourself 9 different types of tripeptides in a marine collagen form. There is nothing else out there like this that has all of these phenomenal ingredients working together synergistically from the inside out. So in addition to the 9 types of collagen, which most collagens on the market have only 2 types, 1 or 2 types, there's something that's super important for you to know about. It also has a molecule called NMN. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Also NADH and resveratrol. Resveratrol is also found in our Lifelong Vitality Pack. And I remember I used to study all the ingredients and learned that resveratrol is one of the reasons that they say the French are more healthy than we are because of the resveratrol found in the wine they drink. It's full of antioxidants. Resveratrol also helps NMN in producing and helping the body produce more NAD. So, oh my gosh, what is NAD? Well, you need to know this. NAD is a master molecule we all have. You actually cannot live without it. It's necessary for life. If you run out of NAD, you are gone. You have to have it to live. This is what your cells use to produce energy and activate proteins that help support healthy DNA. It helps keep your DNA tight. NAD declines as we age. In fact, it starts happening around the age of 25. We begin to lose our NAD levels. They drop significantly, and by the time you're middle-aged, around 50, your NAD level could have dropped by 50%. That's why we're starting to feel those achy muscles and joints. Your metabolic function declines as your NAD declines. So this is going to have a drastic effect on that health span that we're talking about. You may still have a long lifespan, but what is your health span? We want to get these NAD levels up. So here's the good news. That is what NMN is doing. So NMN is a molecule that is a precursor to NAD, and it's going to help increase the level of NAD in your body. This is to help fuel the body and help improve the levels of NAD rapidly. This gets your cells functioning like you're younger. We want to feel younger, right? This is going to be the best thing that you can give yourself to help you feel and look younger. It's this collagen. This is why people are shouting it from the rooftop. It's going to help bridge the gap between your health span and your lifespan. So how do you use this product, by the way, is you just add it to 5 to 8 ounces of water. I use ice water and I mix it with a little frother. You don't want to blend the collagen because they want you to take it just how it is. It's activated by you. So you're going to see it has little chunks in it, and that's normal. That's part of it. You want to put it in the water and drink it first thing in the morning. I want to talk to you about the cost because honestly, after looking at all the ingredients that are just in the Advantage product, it would be over $314 to get all that goodness that they've packed into these little sachets. So finally, we can finally get the Metapower system. Look at that cost, only $179. My hope is that you've learned enough to be intrigued enough to want to try it. I'm telling everyone that I love and care about that I want them on this product. I know we're dealing with inflation and rising prices. If you're like, oh, I want this kit, but this freaks me out, please know that we also have an incredible opportunity for you to earn an income by sharing the metabolic system. So make sure you contact me and I'll explain it all if you're interested. This is going to be something that is going to be so fun to share and do with all your friends and family, and a great opportunity for an extra stream of income if that's what you need. We have a solution for everything, for your health, for your financial wellness, for all of it.